Namo Ramana. Welcome to the Los Angeles presentation, which is as follows. A talk by Shanti Narayanan, a song by Janaki Viswanathan, a talk by Natarajan Venkatesan, and finally a song by Indira Venkatesan.
Namo Ramana. My name is Shanti from the Ramana LA Satsang group. I'll be sharing some thoughts expressed by another devotee, Steve, from the Ramana LA Satsang group. I was recently reading the final talks of Annamalai Swami written by David Godman. Annamalai Swami discusses the unhappiness he felt when he first arrived at the ashram, living amongst people that he perceived as not taking spiritual life seriously. He decided to leave the ashram and go to Polur, where he could meditate by himself. His attempt to run away to Polur was unsuccessful. He stated that, start quotes, Bhagwan's grace and power compelled him to go back, end quotes. Upon his return on his first day back, Bhagavan looked at him, and while looking at him, he began to hear these words resonating in his heart. Start quotes, the supreme state which is praised and which is attained here in this life by clear inquiry, which rises in the heart when association with the sadhu is gained, is impossible to attain by listening to preachers, by studying and learning the meaning of scriptures, by virtuous deeds, or by any other means. End quotes. Annamalai Swami stated, I don't know how these words manage to repeat themselves in me. This talk today dives deeper into that experience elaborated by Annamalai Swami. The message that appeared to Annamalai Swami highlights the importance of the association with the sadhu, how it is far more beneficial for sadhaks than doing spiritual practice by oneself. A sadhu in this case refers to an enlightened being which we often refer to as guru. Said another way, the guru is one who has complete understanding and is established in the heart. What does it mean to be established in the heart? Becoming established in the heart happens naturally once our sense of separate existence disappears. When our fixation with individual identity disappears, it is said that we are abiding in the heart. Words commonly used to describe this are enlightenment and realization. Experience will show us that Guru can be nothing other than heart, as there is nothing apart from the heart following the removal of all apparent separation. If we also desire to be established in this heart, we must inquire and investigate. In Annamalai Swami's case, words appeared in his consciousness and he felt compelled to act on them. The inquiry often starts with, what and where is this heart? How is it different from me? Do I exist independent from the heart? Does the heart exist independent of me? Our focus must be on the heart rather than on the apparent separation. We must allow ourselves to be guided by the grace of the Guru. There is only one place where this inquiry happens, and that is in the heart. All discourse happens only there. Thinking of spirituality when the mind is not immersed in the heart will not benefit us. Let us delve into the words that began to resonate in Annamalai Swami's heart upon his first meeting with Bhagavan following his return from Polur. The supreme state which is praised and which is attained here in this life by clear inquiry, which rises in the heart when association with the sadhu is gained, is impossible to attain by listening to preachers, by studying and learning the meaning of scriptures, by virtuous deeds, or by any other means. Firstly, we must be clear as to what these words do not imply. It does not mean that our spiritual journey has been unimportant and unnecessary. It does not mean that scriptural study, virtuous deeds, or listening to spiritual discourse is not a valuable and a necessary part of the journey. What it does mean is that if we desire to have true understanding and to become established, it is only possible when we go into the heart. To do so, the heart must first be pointed out to the seeker, but it is the seeker's job to go there. The Guru is the one who directs our focus in that direction. The accumulated knowledge, understanding, and experiences along our life's path must be surrendered in the heart. What possible need can there be when immersed in the heart, and for whom? When we realize that we have been unnecessarily carrying this burden and we can easily just let it go. There is an ancillary story that took place between Muruganar and Bhagavan. Muruganar was explaining that some of the verses were written by Bhagavan and the others by him. Bhagavan's response was, "Is that so? Only those verses were written by Bhagavan?" Immediately, Muruganar realized that all verses emanating from him are none other than Bhagavan's. It reminded Muruganar that the apparent me has never been separate from the heart, that is Bhagavan. We must remind ourselves that the purpose of spiritual practice is to lose the sense of separation. Inquiry must continue until that individuality is nowhere to be found. Let us follow the instruction from Ramana directly, taken from Sharanagati, September 2019. Take the resistance into your heart and keep it there. Do everything from the heart. Let the heart see, hear, think, speak, eat, everything. Surrender to the heart and leave all else. Thank you. Namo Ramana.
This is a spontaneous song for Ramana Maharshi's Advent. ரமண மகரிஷியின் அவதார தினத்தை ரம்யமாய் பாடி மகிழ்ந்திடுவோம். ரமண மகரிஷியின் அவதார தினத்தை ரம்யமாய் பாடி மகிழ்ந்திடுவோம். அழகம்மை மகனாக அவதரித்தார் ரமணன். அழகம்மை மகனாக அவதரித்தார் ரமணன். அருணாச்சலத்திலே அனுகிரகித்தார் ரமணன். அருணாச்சலத்திலே அனுகிரகித்தார் ரமணன். அடிமுடி காண ஒண்ணா அண்ணாமலையிலே அற்புத ரமணர் மௌனத்தில் அமர்ந்தார். அடிமுடி காண ஒண்ணா அண்ணாமலையிலே அற்புத ரமணர் மௌனத்தில் அமர்ந்தார். ரமண மகரிஷியின் அவதார தினத்தை ரம்யமாய் பாடி மகிழ்ந்திடுவோம். அக்ஷரமணமாலை அன்புடனே அளித்தார். அவனிதனை காப்பதற்கு உபதேச சாரமளித்தார். அக்ஷரமணமாலை அன்புடனே அளித்தார். அவனிதனை காக்க உபதேச சாரமளித்தார். உள்ளது 40 உரைத்தார் ரமணா. உள்ளது 40 உரைத்தார் ரமணர். உபதேச உறுதியார் உரைத்தார் உலகம் உய்ய. உபதேச உறுதியார் உரைத்தார் உலகம் உய்ய. ரமண மகரிஷியின் அவதார தினத்தை ரம்யமாய் பாடே மகிழ்ந்திடுவோம். நான் யார் என்ற ஏகே தத்துவத்தை எழுப்பினார். நான் யார் என்ற தத்துவத்தை எழுப்பினார். நன்மைகள் உலகுக்கு வழி நடத்தி அருளினார். நன்மைகள் உண்டாக வழி நடத்தி அருளினார். ரமண ஜோதி ரட்சிக்கும் ஜோதி, ரமிக்கும் ஜோதி ஆகாச ஜோதி. ரமண ஜோதி ரட்சிக்கும் ஜோதி, ரமிக்கும் ஜோதி ஆகாச ஜோதி. அருணாச்சல ஜோதி, அண்ணாமலை ஜோதி. அருணாச்சல ஜோதி, அண்ணாமலை ஜோதி. அகண்ட ஜோதி, ரமண ஜோதி. ரமண ஜோதி, ரமண ஜோதி.
Namaskars. I'm Natarajan Venkatesan from Los Angeles Group and will talk briefly on the multifaceted legacy of Sri Ramana. Ramana Maharshi followed Dakshinamurti and Adi Sankara in the Guru Parampara tradition, and during his 54 years in Tiruvannamalai, received and interacted with a steady stream of visitors numbering hundreds. Ramana's teachings are well documented and readily available. Here we will focus on the practical lessons that can be taken from his life example. Enrichment of spiritual and other literature. Bhagavan's works. These could be divided into devotional and philosophical with some overlap. Arunachala Sudhi Panchakam, 5 hymns in praise of Arunachala, are considered as a magnum opus of Ramana, notable for soul-stirring and lilting lyrics, imagery, and love aspect of devotion. In Upadesasaram and Reality in 40 verses, that is Ullathu 40, and in supplement, the quintessence of Vedanta is set forth. Ramana mostly wrote in Tamil and rendered some of his works in Sanskrit, Telugu, and Malayalam. In addition, he has translated a number of Adi Sankara's works. There are numerous translations, compilations, expositions, and commentaries of Ramana's works. Several biographies and reminiscences about Ramana have also been published. Other works. Several devotees have also contributed immensely to the spiritual literature. Notably, the great scholarly poet Kavyakanta has written more than 100 works in Sanskrit, comprising of hymns, sutras, that is aphorisms, and commentaries. His Ramana Chatvarimsat, 40 verses in praise of Ramana in Sanskrit, is recited at the Ramanasramam daily. The renowned Tamil scholar Sri Muruganar has poured forth his love and reverence for Bhagavan in thousands of beautiful poems. Every one of the poems is a rare combination of literary perfection and heartfelt emotion. In Sri Ramana Sannidhi Murai, he has sung, extolling various facets of Bhagavan's greatness and of his own relationship with Bhagavan. Other works of Muruganar include Sri Ramana Devamalai, Sri Ramana Jnana Bodham, and Sri Ramana Pallandu. And all in all, he has composed an astronomical number of more than 30,000 verses. The collection of Bhagavan's teachings by Muruganar, titled Guru Vachaka Kovai, has the distinction of being edited by Bhagavan himself. It is to Muruganar that we owe the priceless gems of Bhagavan's spiritual teachings, namely Upadesasaram and Ullathu 40. Another devotee, the Sadhu, has composed several works on Ramana, like Ramana Sahasram, Ramana Geetam, and Sadhana Saram. In addition, he has written exposition on both the bhakti and jnana aspects of Ramana's teachings. The teachings of and conversations with Bhagavan have been meticulously recorded by several devotees over a period of time. These include a day by day by Devaraja Mudaliar, talks by M. Venkatramaya, and letters by Suri Nagamma. Sri V. Ganesan, the grand nephew of Bhagavan, has interviewed close to 100 devotees in detail and chronicled the journey in works such as Ramanaperi Puranam and Moments Remember. Love and compassion. Bhagavan's love and compassion for one and all is legendary and well documented. For example, he would take care of children while the parents went on Giri Pradakshina. He would send food packets to the family with a young child going up the hill towards Skandasramam. He gave earplugs to a German devotee so that he could continue meditation without disturbance. Kanakamal has narrated the following incident. One hot summer afternoon, Pranavananda was returning to Tiruvannamalai with a copy of one of the books from press. He walked all the way to the ashram and somehow made it to the gate, but the terrible heat had taken its toll. He could not proceed any further and sat down under a tree for shade. At that moment, Bhagavan happened to look out of the window, came out, and sitting beside him, poured cool waters over Ramananda's feet. Such was the master's concern for his disciples' welfare. Animals and birds were attracted by the heavenly and tranquil aura of the ashram. Cows, dogs, monkeys, deer, and peacocks found asylum. Birds and squirrels built nests around Bhagavan. Snakes would crawl over him, and even tigers and leopards would come to him. He would treat all with incredible affection and compassion and make sure they were well fed and taken care of. When any of them died, the body would be buried with due ceremony. He would patiently submit to the affectionate caresses of cow Lakshmi, although his hands would become red with the repeated licks of her rough tongue. Bhagavan's compassion and respect also extended to plant life. Once, while going on Giri Pradakshina, a friend from childhood days started collecting lots of flowers for puja, and Bhagavan chided her for plucking too many and not letting others to enjoy the sight of the tree laden with beautiful flowers. In another episode recorded by Sri Ganesan, Ramaswamy Pillai was once plucking coconuts using a long pole with an iron clamp. Bhagavan told him that the metal clamp will hurt the tree and to use a bamboo clamp instead, and he went up the hill. However, Pillai continued to use iron clamp, and while Bhagavan was coming down from the hill, a coconut fell on Pillai's nose, and it started to bleed. Bhagavan gently rebuked him for doubting his words and continued his walk. Daily activities. Bhagavan was personally involved in the construction of Mathur Bhuteswara temple for his mother, acknowledging the importance of motherhood. As a cook, Bhagavan is perfect and did not tolerate any wastage. Wild plants, bitter roots, apple peels, orange rinds, brinjal, that is eggplant stalks, and banana flower skin were turned under his guidance into delicious dishes. Every little incident in the kitchen was a spiritual lesson. The same frugality could be seen in his optimum use of stationery material. He would bind books with professional dexterity and make cups and spoons out of coconut shells, polishing them like ebony. Bhagavan also brought attention to the presence of rare herbs on Arunachala Hill and concocted several natural remedies, that is, churna powder, based on these plants. Bhagavan's day-to-day life is by itself a great lesson for all of us. He taught, by example, economy and non-waste not only of materials but of words too. A devotee has summarized what he learned from Bhagavan as follows: personal cleanliness, tidiness of dress, punctuality, doing work however menial it may be, perfection in every action, accepting success and failure with equanimity, equality with others, non-interference in the affairs of others, compassion and love for all. The following anecdote, recorded by Sri Ganesan, is probably an appropriate way to conclude. Mr. Krishnaswamy noticed a horse cart driver demanding a double rate from an out-of-town devotee who wanted to hire the cart. Krishnaswamy intervened, but the driver refused to heed to his counsel. When Krishnaswamy told Bhagavan that the driver did not listen to his words, Bhagavan, with a smile, asked, "Do you listen to me?" Sri Ganesan continues, "Do we listen to him? Do we follow his teaching? Is this not the question addressed to all of us?" Namo Ramana.
Namo Ramana. I am Indira Venkatesan offering a song based on the recording by Swami Shantananda. Arunachalam, 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 Jnanamrita Karunachalam, Arunachalam, Arunachalam, Jnanamrita Karunachalam, Ananda Ramana Premachalam, Ananda Ramana Premachalam, Kripachalam, Mahachalam, Kripachalam, Shumachalam, Arunachalam, Arunachalam, Jnanamrita Karunachalam. Agam agam iti spurati jvalati amara para tejojvalam. Agam agam iti spurati jvalati amara para tejojvalam. Amaram acharam amalam achalam amaram acharam amalam achalam arunachalam karunachalam arunachalam arunachalam jnanamrita karunachalam anandaramana premachalam kripachalam mahachalam kripachalam shumachalam arunachalam arunachalam jnanamrita karunachalam. அன்பு மலை அழகு மலை அமுத மலை அண்ணாமலை அன்பு மலை அழகு மலை அமுத மலை அண்ணாமலை ஆனந்த ரமணனை அணைத்த மலை ஆனந்த ரமணனை அணைத்த மலை அன்பு மலை அழகு மலை அமுத மலை அண்ணாமலை ஆனந்த ரமணனை அணைத்த மலை ஆனந்த ரமணமாய் நின்ற மலை ஆனந்த ரமணனை அணைத்த மலை ஆனந்த ரமணமாய் நின்ற மலை அண்ணாமலை அண்ணாமலை அருணாச்சலம் அருணாச்சலம் ஞானாமிருத கருணாச்சலம் ஆனந்தரமண பிரேமாச்சலம் கிருபாச்சலம் மகாச்சலம் கிருபாச்சலம் சுபாச்சலம் அருணாச்சலம் அருணாச்சலம் ஞானாமிருத கருணாச்சலம் தாகம் தணிய அன்பரை அன்புடன் வாவென்றழைக்கும் அண்ணாமலை தாகம் தணிய அன்பரை அன்புடன் வாவென்றழைக்கும் அண்ணாமலை தாகம் தணித்து மோகம் ஒழித்து தாகம் தணித்து மோகம் ஒழித்து மோனத்தவத்தியை மூட்டுமலை தாகம் தணித்து மோகம் ஒழித்து மோனத்தவத்தியை மூட்டுமலை தாகம் தணிய அன்பரை அன்புடன் வாவென்றழைக்கும் அண்ணாமலை தாகம் தணித்து மோகம் ஒழித்து மோனத்தவத்தியை மூட்டுமலை அண்ணாமலை அண்ணாமலை அருணாச்சலம் அருணாச்சலம் ஞானாமிருத கருணாச்சலம் ஆனந்த ரமண பிரேமாச்சலம் கிருபாச்சலம் சுபாச்சலம் கிருபாச்சலம் மகாச்சலம் அருணாச்சலம் அருணாச்சலம் ஞானாமிருத கருணாச்சலம் ஓம் ஹ்ரீம் மகர்ஷி ரமணஹம்சாய வித்மஹே பரமஹம்சாய தீமஹி தன்னோ ஹம்ச பிரச்சோதயாத் அந்தர்ஜோதி பகிர்ஜோதி பிரத்யக்ஜோதி பராத்பரः ज्योतिर्ज्योति स्वयं ज्योति आत्मज्योति शिवोऽस्म्यहम् अन्तर्ज्योति बहिर्ज्योति प्रत्यक्ज्योति परात्परः ज्योतिर्ज्योति स्वयं ज्योति आत्मज्योति शिवोऽस्म्यहम् अन्तर्ज्योति बहिर्ज्योति प्रत्यक्ज्योति परात्परः ज्योतिर्ज्योति स्वयं ज्योति आत्मज्योति शिवोऽस्म्यहम्. Now we hand over to New York Ashrama.